Well, good afternoon, friends and family, guys and gals. This is George, the old Shade Tree Fix-It Band, and I'm just sitting on my porch here, getting ready to go to work. And I've just fed the wild birds, and they'll start coming in now. My project for today is we're going to go down there beyond the shed, and we're going to start setting up to build the addition on the back side of that shed. And the purpose of that addition is to have room to store the Goofy cart and my four-wheeler, things like that. I hope the camera will focus. Should. Here we go. My hummingbird friend, one of them. Oh, there another one just came in and chased him off. And you can see my pile of lumber down there waiting for me. And most of that is what they call culled lumber. 2x4s were picked out of the piles because they got twisted and they were weathered and been sitting a long time. There's a pile of 2x8s and has another pile there has 2x6s in it and some 4x4s and all that kind of stuff. The only thing that's not culled was the plywood, which is 3/4 inch plywood that I'm going to be using for the deck. And now, so that's my project for this afternoon. You hold on and I'll bring you some video updates along the way. And maybe some tips and tricks. Hold on to your hats. Here we go. Okay, here's our area of attack. It's going to be 14 foot wide over to right about in there, right about in here, and it's going to be 12 feet deep, which is the length of the first section. You see the first section down there, the siding comes down low, even though the floor is actually up about the same height as the one next to it, the one in the middle, which is my woodworking shop. And I've got some repairs that I have to do on this wall because it's, yeah, it's in pretty bad shape. Some pieces that just fell out when we pulled the lean-to off. So my first chore is going to be cutting that off right along there, about 2 feet up. And then I'm going to put plywood. I'm going to hang plywood off of there because my floor joists actually are going to be down, right down below where those siding boards are right now. They're still too high up for what I want. So I'm going to be hanging some plywood off the floor joists of the original building, and then my rim joist will be attached to that. And I'll show you how all that works when we get to that point. And that pile of tin back there, that's all used tin that came from a friend of mine's machine shed that got blown over in a hurricane, or not a hurricane, a tornado a couple of years ago now. And that's going to be used mostly on the roof, and some of it may be on the back wall, the wall that you won't see from the road. But yep, we'll not waste it. Still good tin. There it is, cut up, and we're about 2 feet above the ground over here. There'll be a little space down below as I don't want my plywood sitting right on the ground. But you can see this is my level line, and you can tell my floor in the building that is existing is not level. Well, I'm still going to make my building level. I'm not going to try and match it up to the old building. I want my floor to be pretty much level. It don't have to be perfect, but it's got to be good. And I mean, we're talking the difference of over here. Looks like we got, well, let's go see what we've got. From the bottom of the board to the bottom of my floor joist is 5.5 inches at that point. Let's go see what it is over at this point. From the bottom of the board to the bottom of the floor joist is a little over 2 inches. So yeah, I'd say my shed has sagged a little bit, wouldn't you say? We'll put a level on it, see what it looks like. Yeah, I'd say it sagged a little bit. Well, that'll happen over the years, especially when it doesn't have a real foundation, quote unquote. I'm going to be using posts. You can see that the cement block pile here has started to lean, and yeah, I'm gonna put in 4x4 posts for my 2 outside corners to attach my rim joists to, and we will make them plumb, and we'll make our building square, and it will be square off of this building, at least off of this wall anyway. It comes in handy when you got a hole in the wall and you need a place to throw your cord and your air hose out through. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it works just dandy. Okay, I gotta get back to work. Stop goofing off. Okay, so we're gonna cut 3 pieces of plywood, 2 foot long, off of my pile. And I've been moving the pile around a little bit. Had to use my tractor to do some of it. I can't lift it all. We're gonna do a test here. I'm actually gonna cut 3 sheets at one time. And this is my new Harbor Freight Bauer circular saw, 7 1/4. So it's a full-size circular saw blade. Probably wishing now that I got the smaller one, 6 1/4, but we're gonna see. We're gonna find out if this will do the job. And that's a no right off the bat. Try again. This is Boston. And we got her done. Not without a couple hiccups, but we got her done. So those pieces are going to get nailed on to the rim joist of the original building. And I purposely left the bands on here. Now when you're cutting bands, you want to make sure that you don't have it jump up in your face. That's why I put my hand on that thing. There's 1, 2. Did I get all the way through the third one? Should have. Not quite, but close enough I can break it off. So let's take it over and we'll put it on the building. How's that sound? Well, in all fairness to this saw, the top sheet of plywood, which I've got thrown over here, was delaminating, and so it was binding and it swelled up. So this is supposed to be 3/4 inch plywood. It's already 1 inch in the places where it's not delaminating. So I had to cut another piece to go over here. And I started nailing on my first piece. And then my floor joist, whoa, don't bounce off of there, George. I'll nail my first rim joist to the bottom of these. And this one is almost in the dirt. I'll dig it out a little bit more. And I'll finish putting these on. I gotta tell you, the rim joist on this thing is oak. And my nailing gun is having a hard time nailing into it. And I try to finish driving my nails in when they don't go in all the way. And well, yeah, it bends them over. That oak, when it is already dried, it's hard as a rock. That's why I prefer using pine myself. I'll bring you back in a moment. Well, maybe I'll show you me struggling to get these pieces of plywood up. How's that? Okay. When you're working by yourself, you have to use helping hands. And I noticed after I got my first screw in that I had dropped down below my line, but it's the same amount here below my line, and I have another helping hand over here because I'm holding this one back 1.5 inches so my end joist will go onto this one. And come down here to my other helping hand, wherever it is there. I can't see it right off the bat through my monitor, but you can see that I'm parallel with my line. That's the bottom line. There it is right there. And I'm same amount down there that I am at the beginning. And let's throw a level on it just for grins. When you're an old man like me, lifting these things up by yourself is not the easiest thing in the world. Well, we're not perfect, but we're within the lines. And that's fine and dandy for this shed. So I'm going to finish nailing this off, and I have a less than 2-foot piece to put on the end. I chose to split this one because I have several 10-footers and I need 12 feet, or a little less than 12 feet actually. But this one here is easier to splice a piece on because you can nail it right to the plywood, don't you know? And I hope y'all guys put some deep woods off on yourselves when you came to work with me today. We are working in the shade, and I was out working yesterday, working on my trailer. Was it yesterday? Yesterday was Thursday. I don't know, either yesterday or Wednesday, one of the days. And, oh, it was yesterday. Yeah, I'll have to show you a couple of things on that I did off camera. But yesterday I got 4 ticks. That's more than I had the whole year last year. Well, I forgot to spray myself. And it works pretty well when you spray yourself to keep them off of you. But I didn't. And so one of them fell on my arm and I picked him off right away. The other 3 I found, one in my head and one on up on my arm, and the other one, I forget where the third one is. My wife helped to pick them off when I get in the house. So that's a warning. Be prepared. Here in Tennessee, ticks and snakes. I have only seen 1 snake. Oh, I take it back, 2 snakes on my property here. And everybody was saying, oh, there's lots and lots of snakes. Well, not so much that you notice. I've seen 2 on the road dead, got run over so far this year. And that's not an uncommon sight. They like to lay out on the tar and sun themselves. Well, somebody's driving down the road, they ain't going to stop and try to swerve around them, especially on the mountain roads that we have around here. So this is it for today. This old man is ready to go in, and we'll bring you up to date next time around. Thanks for watching, commenting, subscribing, thumbs up, sharing, all them good things. And oh yeah, just one more heads up for those of you who have watched all the way to the end. I crossed 8,000 subscribers recently, so I'm going to be having an 8,000 subscriber giveaway here very shortly. And you'll be the first to know about it because I told you here. Thanks again for watching. Bye now. Wow. Wow. What a big step. Obviously I'm going to put my door and my ramp over on that side so I don't have to have a huge one. By the time it gets over here, that thing's going to be 3 feet out of the ground. Ooh. Yeah. Well, one step at a time, and we'll overcome it one step at a time. Thanks for watching.